Hey, welcome back, everybody. For part two of this series, I'm going to be finishing um, the neck for my solo music guitar kit with Tru Oil. And I'm going to start by sanding it down with this 320 grit sanding pad. And then for the fretboard, I'll switch over to sandpaper. Alright, let's speed this up a bit here. So I'm using Tru Oil on this guitar because it's one of my favorite ways to finish a neck. It's just really easy to apply, and it just makes for a really great feeling finish. So once I'm finished sanding, I'm just going to wood burn my logo onto the headstock. Alright, so I'm ready to start applying the Tru Oil. I just pour it straight onto the neck and spread it around with a piece of old t-shirt. So for this first coat, you want to get as much penetration into the wood as you can. Keep rubbing it in so that you get a good coat on there, and wipe up the excess so it's not left sitting on top. You don't want to leave an excess with Tru Oil. So you can see as I'm oiling the fretboard, I'm not really worrying about getting any Tru Oil on the frets. And the reason for that is I'm going to be coming back later, and at the very least I'm going to be polishing these frets up. So that'll take care of any oil that I get on them now. So here you can see I'm doing the back of the neck the same as I did the front. I'm just pouring the oil straight onto the wood and rubbing it in. So I've let the first coat of Tru Oil dry for about 24 hours, and I'm about ready to put on the second coat now. First, though, there were a couple of spots where oil ran onto the fretboard from the back, so I'm just going to sand those flat, and that way after I apply the second coat, they won't show. Here I'm putting on the second coat. This coat is going to be a bit thinner than the first coat, but other than that, it's just going to go on the exact same way. One thing you'll notice when I'm rubbing this stuff on is that I like to go with the grain, and I just think that helps keep it nice and smooth. So I've let the second coat dry for several days here to let it harden up some. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some 4-0 steel wool and lightly go over the whole neck with it. In retrospect, this neck was actually smooth enough that I could have skipped the steel wool, but if you have any irregularities in your finish, then you can use the steel wool to smooth it all out before applying another coat. The most important thing to remember when doing that, though, is to make sure that you let the previous coats of oil harden sufficiently, and also after you're done using the steel wool, to make sure that you clean up every single little scrap of that stuff from the neck and your workspace. Otherwise, it's going to get in your finish and mess it up. Okay, so it's time for the final coat. And this time, because I want to keep it nice and thin, I'm pouring the Tru Oil onto my piece of t-shirt rather than straight onto the wood. And I'm just going to apply it that way. So that's the last coat of Tru Oil I'm going to put on. There's no rules for how many coats to do. Some people like to do more. You could do just one if you wanted. I like to do 3 because I like a nice thin finish, but I still want the neck to have some protection. So I'm going to let this neck sit and dry until the rest of the guitar is ready, because Tru Oil takes some time to really harden and lose its tackiness. After that, I'll probably go over it again with some steel wool because I want a nice satin finish neck. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please consider giving me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see this build as it continues to unfold. And I'll see you next time.